Hi everyone, and welcome to And So On. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to tell you all about my ready-to-wear fast, 1 year without buying clothes in stores. And if you wait around to the end, I've done a lookbook with everything that I made garment-wise in that time. Spoiler alert, it's a lot more than I expected. So I did a little poll, like a question on Instagram, and I'm going to use some of those questions to take you through how this happened and what I learned and why I think it's a great exercise for people to do. The first thing you need to know is that when I started this ready-to-wear fast, I didn't even know that's what it was called. I wasn't yet part of the sewing community. I had been away last year for 7 months with my family, traveling all over the world, and we traveled with very little. When you do that, you realize how little you actually need. If you bring your favorite clothes with you, you really don't miss other stuff. I was very surprised that I really did not miss my stuff, except for my sewing machine. I didn't miss my stuff. So that was kind of where this came from, is I didn't want to go back to accumulating. I wanted to kind of keep things and not keep buying things. So how successful was I in that? I don't know. It's kind of back and forth, but I'll get to that later. So the biggest question people asked was, did you include bras and underwear, socks and shoes? I did not include those things. Again, because I started this ready-to-wear fast before I even knew that that's what it was called, I was just going by wanting to not go back to buying clothes just because they were on sale, buying clothes just as an impulse, right? I wanted to be more mindful in my purchases. And so I never even considered adding bras and underwear because I didn't even know you could make those. And honestly, I don't buy socks and underwear all that much. I might buy that once or twice a year. I did buy 2 bras and I'm sure I must have bought underwear. I don't really remember. I will start making those things because I love the idea of I just like the idea of making stuff and learning to make stuff. And that's actually one of the big motivators as well, was I wanted to get more into sewing. I was only kind of on the periphery of sewing for myself. I had only just started that kind of the year before and kind of dipped a toe. And this was the idea of, well, if I want it, I've got to learn how to make it. And that definitely was successful in that I definitely took my skills way forward because I had to learn to make things and acquire new skills to make the things that I wanted to wear. So one of the questions was it difficult? Were you tempted? Not really. It was not that difficult and I was not that tempted. And that was surprising to me. But to be totally honest, I think it's just because I traded one addiction for another. Let's be honest, right? Like, I definitely love to buy fabric. You guys know that. You've seen my fabric haul. And so I would look on websites where I used to shop. I don't really shop a lot in person anymore. We don't live near a mall, so it's not something that I very often go to. So it was more like the J. Crew, because I'm a bit of a J. Crew addict, or at least I used to be. It was like the J. Crew website, or when the sale things would come through, I unsubscribed from all of those things. I unsubscribed from all of those email lists so that I wouldn't be tempted. And I still bought clothes for my kids because I wasn't gonna make everything for my kids as well, although I would say I bought a lot less for them in this year as well. Did you save money? That's a tough one. If you ask my husband, he'd definitely say no. I think probably not, but I don't think I spent more money either. I think that I probably just traded one addiction for another, and in that way you might look at it as a failure, but honestly, I get more joy out of making things than I did out of buying clothes. I get more joy out of buying fabric than I did out of buying clothes. I acquired new skills. I used it, as we know, I use sewing therapy instead of shopping therapy, and I think sewing therapy lasts longer and is more effective. So did I save money? Probably not, but I definitely got more for my money, that's for sure. Did you end up making some basics which normally you would buy, like jeans and vest tops? I think this is an English person. By vest they mean like tank tops. Definitely I learned, like I said, so much, and making those basics became more and more fun as the time went on. I think it's kind of normal that when you start sewing, you want to make, dresses and fancier things that kind of catch the eye and are shiny and pretty. But once you are sewing for yourself on a daily basis, you realize, what do you actually wear? And for me, I work from home. I'm not, I go out, I go out for lunch, or I go out and do things, and I have meetings and stuff like that. But mostly I'm at home. So things that were comfortable, separate, the more I go, the more I definitely want to make more of those kind of things. And although I have not finished a pair of jeans, I have started the ginger jeans. I think once it gets cooler, I'll be more motivated to finish those. Were you happy or unhappy with your wardrobe before the fast, and has that changed? I think I'm more happy with my wardrobe now. I love wearing my pieces that I've made, and I think I was already in a transition. So, I'm 44 years old, my kids are getting bigger. When my kids were younger, I very much dressed for utility, and now I feel like I'm kind of coming into my own again as a woman. I get to choose how I want to portray myself to the world. I get to choose what I want to wear. I get to choose what I want to make. And so I was already starting to kind of transition my style into something that felt very me, as opposed to just, oh, well, I'll pick that up because it's on sale. So I'm more mindful about my wardrobe, and as a result, I'm happier with it. There are still ready-to-wear pieces that I love, that I have, but more often than not, I'm kind of either thinking of getting rid of them, or maybe cloning them and making a piece that's more me. In terms of fabrics, I'm much more aware of fabrics. I'm more aware of how things are made, and that leads me to my next question. Do you walk into ready-to-wear stores to check on current construction and styles? So as I said before, in general, I don't live near a mall, so I don't generally go to malls. I look online a lot, and I love to look online for inspiration. That's a big one for me. I love to kind of put together Pinterest boards of inspiration. I'll link my Pinterest boards below if you want to see that. And so every season I love to have inspiration. I love the creative process. And I think with sewing, I'm able to take the creative process right from the inspiration to picking the fabrics, to picking the pattern, or to creating the pattern, to sewing it, to wearing it. And so there is a longer arc of fun and satisfaction than just seeing something online, click and go. In terms of looking at construction, this is interesting because when I was in Las Vegas in April, I had a day to myself before my conference started, and there is a mall in Vegas on the Strip, and I thought, oh, I'll go in and I'll look at some of the brands that I had looked at online that either aren't in Canada or are only here and there in Canada. So I went to Anthropologie and I went to Free People, and I was really shocked at the construction. I was really shocked at the quality of the fabric, and yet how very expensive everything was. I thought that I would actually do a video on it. I thought I'd take video in the store, and I was like, oh, I don't like any of this. And so that's another reason why I'm not tempted, because I know that even though I'm by no means an expert sewist, I can make things that are pretty much the same quality as what's offered in stores right now. And yeah, it surprised me, put it that way. So what if you need a garment that you don't have time to make? Is it easier to buy? So I'm gonna take this from the point of view of, now that the fast is over, will I now consider buying something ready to wear if I don't have time to make what I want? I will keep my eyes open if there's something that I really want, but I know that it will be because there's a fabric that I really want that I can't then get. Because anything else, I feel like I can make it if I really want it. Now, thankfully, I like very simple, clean lines. I don't like things that are particularly fancy or fussy. If there was something that really caught my eye that was very, very challenging, maybe then I would buy it, but I'm not really tempted. And like I said, I went on the J. Crew website, and I went and I put, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 things in my cart that were on clearance that looked really great, and then I didn't pull the trigger. I was like, do I really want to spend that? Like, I'd kind of rather spend, say 5 or 6 items was maybe $140, $150. I'd rather spend that on fabric, and I have enough fabric. So someone else asked, were there things you missed, money saved, and your impact on your social life, which I thought was really interesting. I think if anything, it's improved my social life. Whenever I go out, people who are connected with me on social media will say, oh, did you make that? Did you make that? So I almost do feel pressure to wear something I made whenever I go out. Not pressure in a bad way, but it's definitely in the back of my mind when I have to say, no, I didn't make this one. People are like, oh, that's too bad. And then of course I've got this whole new community that I didn't have before. Because of this fast, I'm making more. It led to my YouTube channel, it led to me growing my Instagram. And so now I have friends all over the world that kind of grew my social life, I think. When you started, how much of your wardrobe was already me made? Not very much at all. I think I had maybe 3 or 4 pieces because I had, like I said, been away and I had more just been following sewing and was like excited to do it. But I had made 2 gallery tunics, one shorter one and one full dress length. I had made a hat. I had made a pair of Pearl Soho City Gym shorts. And that's pretty much it. And actually those 2 of those 3 pieces came with me on the trip. And I think I saw how well they washed and how much I wore them. And that kind of inspired me to do more. Will you continue? I will. Like I said, if something comes up that is made of a beautiful, beautiful fabric, because I think fabric now is what's going to motivate me the most. If something comes up in a beautiful fabric, I'll consider buying it. But it wasn't like I was waiting to get to the date and then running to them all. You know, I'm really happy with the wardrobe I'm creating and I'm excited to keep doing that. And so, yeah, I think I am going to keep doing it. So what I made in that year, I was shocked, guys. I was totally shocked. So I went through and made this slideshow that you're going to see at the end. And if you had asked me previously, I probably would have said I'd made maybe 30, 35 pieces. I counted 61 and I'm probably missing a couple t-shirts in all these photographs. So, and that's not including things I made for my kids. It's not including quilts. It's not including baby gifts. It's not including any of that. Or things I knit. It's literally just including garments I sewed. So that's a lot. And I'm still kind of processing how I feel about that because the initial reason for this was become less consumerist, less materialistic. And there's no way I would have bought 60 pieces of clothing in the last year. But like I said, I think that I value my clothes more. I'm more thoughtful about them. I appreciate the whole process and enjoy them. I've learned so much. I think it's different for me than just buying 60 pieces of clothing. And I am working towards a me-made wardrobe. I don't think I can keep up that pace. I don't expect to. I don't need to. I mean, it's not like I kind of set myself a goal and it's just I was inspired to create. And so that creating process brings so much to me personally. And the benefit is I get to then wear it around and enjoy it as well. Okay, so here comes the lookbook. So remember too that this is all 4 seasons and I do live in a place where there are 4 distinct seasons. Every time I try and make a capsule wardrobe, I'm like, the problem is that one day it could be 22 degrees and the next day it's 15 or 16 degrees when we're in a transitional time. And so I can't really just stick with really a very, very small capsule because I'll be freezing. This is mostly in chronological order. So it's interesting to see how my sewing style has progressed, how my skills have progressed. It was a shocker to me to see how much was in here, but there's nothing in there that I went, oh, I didn't need that or I shouldn't have made that. It all served a purpose, and whether or not it stays in my wardrobe, I'm really, really glad that I made it. So I hope that you guys enjoy. Please let me know down below what you thought. I'm really curious to hear if this is something you would consider, if you think that it's a valuable thing to do, and I'd love to know what your favorite piece is out of the lookbook. Okay guys, I'm going to let you go. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.